Don't even bother establishing a reason for us to care game, just begin right in the middle of Krypton being destroyed. With any luck, the next scene will be a black screen followed by a gunshot, and then we'll see Bruce's dead parents. I'm in favor of every hero origin story being told as lazily as possible. If you're going to use robots as the shock troopers of your army and give them glowing red search beams in their eyes, at least make them competent enough to find someone hiding behind a rock. What do the lights even do if they can't find Kara in this situation? You would think Brainiac would understand the value of subtlety and not make it easy for adversaries to figure out that he's evil, with just a glance at his skull and tentacle spaceship. These robots have a whole suite of weapons like hand lasers and tentacles, yet this jobber can't do anything but scratch at the air as Kara escapes through a pipe. Maybe Brainiac should have started with the digitalization of the city before destroying most of it. After all, his goal is to collect and preserve civilizations and their knowledge. The mocap director said, "In this scene, we want you to pretend that you're being asked out on a date by the guy who comes to class with a binder full of Pokemon cards every day." That's twice in just the opening scene that Kara had to be saved from one of Brainiac's robots by someone off screen with a gun.
Your Uncle Jor-El discovered a planet that can sustain Kryptonians, far away from Brainiac. He's built a ship just like this for your cousin Cal.
This has always been an issue for me with Superman's origin. Who builds a spaceship that can travel to distant stars and makes it a one-seater? Kara's ship is knocked off course and sent in another direction away from Earth, yet her ship will still find its way there, only late by a few decades. It always amazes me how much BS you have to swallow for superhero origin stories to work.
The Joker drugged him, tricked him into killing his pregnant wife Lois, and made him trigger the bomb that nuked Metropolis.
This committee would already know about the events that basically made their world as it is. What is Bruce Wayne even testifying for? Superman was locked up at the end of the last game, which happened years ago.
So when Superman killed the Joker, I understood why. We all did. But once that line was crossed, there was no going back.
You can kill one terrible person and not become a dictator. Later in this game, Aquaman kills a defenseless Grodd and it's not treated as some point of no return for him. If the narration about what a bastard Superman became wasn't enough, here's a pointless flashback to drive the point home.
He's going to kill them, Damian.
Sounds like justice to me.
Killing people isn't justice.
Yeah, and what if it had been Gotham? If Joker had killed me, your own son?
I'm going to assume that Jason Todd exists in this universe, since Red Hood is an upcoming DLC character, and that Jason's path to becoming Red Hood is largely unchanged, meaning Damian is a real, pardon the pun, dick for asking this and should know better. Plus, he's Bruce Wayne. His own parents were murdered in front of him, you ass.
My friends were in Metropolis, Batman. Starfire, Beast Boy, gone.
For some reason, likely incompetence, the devs killed off the interesting Teen Titans and went with Cyborg.
So you won't kill, but you're fine with traumatic brain injuries.
Damian would be great at game sense. This red sun grenade creates a plot hole in regards to the first game, where Batman was desperate to gain access to kryptonite to defeat Superman. Yet this flashback takes place before the events of that game, and Batman already has tools on hand for dealing with Superman. Even with his powers dulled, I still think Superman would take this fight easily. If you had kryptonite rope, you didn't need the red solar grenade.
You let the Joker keep on killing. You couldn't save Lois or Jason or anyone.
Well, he just confirmed my Jason Todd theory, which means Damian is a grade A whiny bitch. Be thankful he's not in this game very much beyond his heel turn moment. I probably won't regret taking out Batman now when I have the chance, knowing he's going to oppose me later.
We must stay vigilant.
I thought your goal was to reassure people, Mr. Wayne.
People really do love to watch their own news, and then someone always comes in and turns off the TV right at the end. How often have you ever walked into a room and turned off what someone was watching?
Convincing folks to move back to these cities is a lot harder when they're afraid someone's gonna knock them down again.
That sounds reasonable. I wouldn't want to live in Metropolis or Gotham either.
Superman's never getting out. I made that clear.
Says the guy who has never kept a supervillain locked up for more than one comic issue.
I know you built Brother Eye to keep tabs on all those loose ends.
I'm going to remind you of every detail you already know about because the writers couldn't think of a more subtle way of sharing this information. To be fair, this is a fighting game, so they probably do have to be a bit ham-fisted, but Lucius exists for this one scene to bring Bruce Wayne up to speed on everything Bruce Wayne has been doing since the last game. That secret entrance in your stairwell is so easy to accidentally find, it's a miracle no one has stumbled upon it, especially since everyone in this world knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman now, which means people might be looking for stuff like this.
This is Brother Eye.
More like the Eye of Sauron.
A Lord of the Rings reference in my comic book game? Too much nerd at once.
Linking every satellite and server on the planet. It warns us when trouble's coming.
I can't imagine the Pornhub servers would be much use in fighting crime. And outside of weather and recon satellites, most are for communication and astronomy.
Great.
I don't know about genius, but I do got a PhD.
Harley Quinn is not voiced by Arlene Sorkin, which means this is not Harley Quinn. All respect to Tara Strong, who has definitely improved her performance, but it's just not the same. I know there's a reason why Harley Quinn is a good guy and works for Batman in this universe, but damn it, this doesn't feel weird.
My mole in Gorilla City says Grodd's planning something big. I need you three to stop that gas before it gets to Grodd.
You must be truly desperate to turn to Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Harley Quinn for this mission that threatens the peace of this new society you work so hard to build. This universe's Green Arrow was killed by Superman prior to the events of the first game. The Green Arrow that was in the first Injustice was pulled from another universe along with several other heroes, and would have went back to their own world after everything was taken care of, meaning this is the third Green Arrow that Batman recruited from another universe. Why would you go to that kind of trouble to get a new Green Arrow when plenty of better superheroes died that you need to replace? Like Starfire, the Teen Titans, or, you know, Dick Grayson?
Dinah's hubby!
Since this Green Arrow comes from a different universe, does that mean he shacked up with the dead Green Arrow's wife and she was totally cool with that? Something is terribly wrong with all the women in this game. They suffer from a debilitating case of swayed hips and arched backs.
Gorilla Grodd. Everyone's favorite talking ape. He's got himself a band of bozos. Calls them the Society.
Considering that Superman controlled the entire world in the last game, and Batman was the leader of the only resistance, how the hell is Grodd still around and in control of his city? That's something that fascist Superman would not have allowed.
Scarecrow's gonna ship Grodd a buttload of fear gas from a hideout in Slaughter Swamp.
At no point does Grodd have any use for fear gas during this game. He's partnered with Brainiac, who already has everything he needs to launch an invasion of Earth. I can't even give you a reason why Brainiac needed Grodd and his minions. They amount to nothing as far as I can tell.
Very mosquito-y.
Good thing I packed my bug spray.
I've tried to be forgiving to Green Arrow and his puns by not sending them, but even Buddha will get mad if you punch him 3 times. How the ever-loving hell do these guys not see the 3 of them sneaking around? They even stopped to spy through that window, so any one of those guys should turn around and see them.
Can they move any faster?
Things would go a bit faster if you had a boat. Those guys are just lugging crates to an empty dock.
Your man, Bruce, was supposed to better care for the green. All he's done is remodel the concrete jungles of Gotham and Metropolis. Where I sit, there's not much difference between him and Superman.
So I decided to work for a gorilla that also leads a city and likely won't keep his word. Why would Harley's first vision after being gassed by Scarecrow be of a monstrous Scarecrow rather than the Joker, which takes a second gassing? Fear gas brings out your innermost fears, and I doubt Scarecrow has a heavy presence in Harley's mind. So if this fight with the Joker is all in her head, how does this even work?
This swamp is protected.
Well, maybe you should have done something about the criminals who were here just a second ago. Rather than remain 20 feet tall with a clear advantage, let me shrink down to a more manageable size.
Scarecrow and his goons you want. They're mixing toxic gas right in your backyard. We came to stop them.
You could have told him all that before to avoid a fight.
Where were you?
You know, just doing Kryptonian stuff. Looking down on the planet.
I spent decades lost in space, stuck in hypersleep until Adam found my ship.
Well, that satisfactorily explained how Kara ended up on Earth. No further questions needed.
And now I'm cooped up here.
How can we make you more comfortable?
Let me out.
Is there anything really stopping you? You were in space just a moment ago. And you're freaking Supergirl, not a Disney princess.
So, what? Us 3 extradite Grodd from under his entire gorilla army.
Grodd's their alpha. Take him down, and the others will submit.
Great plan. Do the thing the Green Arrow just pointed out as being nigh impossible. These are 3 C-listers you are sending up against an army.
We break the yoke of oppression forever. No more regime. No more Justice League.
Neither of those things exist anymore. The only real threat in this group is Bane and, Bane. You know, when stealth is your only advantage, a superhero with the power to scream really loud is probably not the best choice for the mission.
Few words from the brave and the bold.
I'm the brave one, right?
I'm not bold enough to disagree.
I am so very happy that these 2 pretty much disappear from the game after this. Well, there's your problem. You had Green Arrow fighting Bane. Green Arrow is pretty much the Yamcha of the DC universe.
I have to go consult my masters, the Lords of Order. Pray they'll intervene before it's too late.
Too late for what, Kent? What's going down?
The Lord's magic bars me from saying more. I have changed fate too many times.
Why would you be allowed to warn them but not tell them what the danger is? They don't even know who Brainiac is, so it wouldn't change anything. Plus, Brainiac shows up in like 5 minutes, meaning this entire warning was pointless anyways.
I forgot to bring my banana arrow. Wait, you eat bananas, right? Or is that an offensive stereotype? I was just trying to be PC.
With the links they're going to make Green Arrow appeal to a younger audience, I'm surprised he hasn't pulled out a fidget spinner arrow yet. Insert your Harambe memes here. I can see why Brainiac would start his invasion by abducting its 2 greatest heroes. Green Arrow and Black Canary. Green Arrow and Black Canary. I can't even say it.
Green skin. Smart money's on alien.
Martian? Like John Johns?
That's racist. This just proves how worthless Green Arrow is when he only has 1 arm available.
But your planet has also piqued my interest. Its many contradictions are fascinating.
I can see Brainiac's point. I like detecting plot holes as well, and DC Comics are full of them.
I value knowledge. And like your metal trinkets, knowledge is more valuable when it is rare.
Value is determined by demand, and you are not selling the information you collect, so ensuring only you possess the knowledge doesn't benefit you in any way. Brainiac, who came to this planet for Superman, doesn't begin his invasion by attacking the prison where Superman is being held. He never even makes a move on it.
Brother Eye, give me an update on the team at Gorilla City.
I cannot do that, Bruce Wayne of Earth.
Why not?
Because I'm making a reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey. No one ever said a hyper-intelligent alien wouldn't know or appreciate pop culture. When exactly did Bruce Wayne learn to read alien runes?
You, a fragile human, captured and imprisoned a fully developed male Kryptonian. To prevail, you harnessed advanced sciences, nanotechnology, satellite communications, interdimensional transit.
Really, all he did was make one Superman from a different universe fight this universe's Superman.
It's him. Who, Kara?
Kara plays a pronoun game, so Wonder Woman will have to ask who he is. And then Kara doesn't even bother to answer. I guess they don't teach how to play the pronoun game on Krypton. This should have been the first place Brainiac attacked while Superman is weak.
Brainiac, what can you tell me?
How do you know that name?
How do you know that name? You were a baby when he destroyed Krypton, and this is the first time he's come to Earth.
How do I beat him?
You can't. Not without me.
I'll find a way.
This ends up being completely false.
People treating you well?
Let's just say people here aren't thrilled to live in close quarters with the Flash, convicted regime criminal.
Pardoned regime criminal.
Does there have to be someone who throws out some exposition about the hero and what happened to them in the last game whenever someone makes their appearance? I would have gotten this same information about the Flash through more natural conversations that happen later.
How fast can you get to Metropolis?
My pardon agreement was pretty clear on no powers.
You think that matters when aliens are invading?
Even though Barry was intent on not using his powers per the agreements of his pardon, he still kept his suit lying around.
As predicted, Barry Allen has returned to action. The task force is ready.
I can buy Brainiac predicting the Flash returning, but predicting he would come back at this exact moment and at this location and had his rogues gallery ready for him? Deadshot may be the best shot in the world, but being able to shoot the Flash in the leg is next to impossible. And not just because the Flash is a high-speed moving target, but because the Flash can outrun bullets. And why not shoot him in the head and be done with it if you can make that shot?
That knee ain't healing super fast at absolute zero.
Well, it shouldn't heal at all with the bullet still in his knee, and freezing any part of his body to absolute zero presents even more problems than slower healing. Also, why not just freeze his entire body? Flash's leg heals quickly despite being shot and frozen.
I was hoping you was Bruce's mole.
Well, it wasn't like it was going to be anyone else. It's so obvious and I'm surprised Grodd even fell for it. Oh, so now bullets are no problem for you.
Got no choice. Grodd put a nano explosive in my head. His paws on the trigger.
The good news is, you're not played by Will Smith. The bad news? You're still stuck with Will Smith's crappy Suicide Squad plotline. The only reason Reverse Flash is in this game is because it's way cheaper to put a different skin on the Flash and call it a villain than create one with his own moveset.
Nice to see you too, Barry. Whose dead hand you pry that ring from? You know it doesn't work that way.
We need excuses for more fights, so let's have characters misjudge each other's motives when they show up. We also need Batman to quickly forgive Green Lantern for being a villain in the first game. So let's have Batman and Flash stand under a crate that falls for no reason, and they will be unable to dodge it even though they are the Batman and Flash, just so Green Lantern can save them.
You think he'll help? He's been off radar since the regime fell.
He didn't like getting roped into the regime by Superman.
You sure about that? Because Aquaman in the first game was more than willing to turn Atlantis over to Superman. I would have gone with the dump truck before the brick wall.
Where's your Amazon friend?
Didn't you hear? I unfriended her.
I also unsubbed from her YouTube channel, and you don't even want to see my last tweet to her. Oh look, Cheetah is here. Bane is here. Here's Atrocitus and Dexstar to recruit Green Lantern to the Red Lanterns. Whoops, looks like he failed and then left, and doesn't show up again for the rest of the game. And Aquaman doesn't want to do shit to help fight Brainiac. That sure was pointless. Glad we came.
Ships are being positioned over these major cities.
According to this map, Brainiac missed almost all the cities of Asia and South America. And what major city is there to attack in Greenland?
Power center. If it goes down, those generators shut off. And he flies right out of here.
There are no backup plans for containing the most dangerous man on the planet. Black Adam, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and Cyborg plan to break Superman out of prison by shutting down the power to his cell and having Cyborg hack the security. I think they forgot that Supergirl was on their team and she could just open a hole in Superman's cell. Hell, any one of them could. Supergirl didn't see Firestorm and Blue Beetle as she flew past. And Firestorm is kind of hard to miss with his head on fire. I understand this is a fighting game, so they have to fight one-on-one, but it makes no sense for Firestorm and Blue Beetle to not double team Cyborg.
Brainiac's too much for Batman. I'm your only chance.
Not that Superman doesn't have a good point, but Batman could always bring the Superman from another universe here to help like he did last time, rather than rely on the villain Superman from this world.
You blow up Metropolis rather than let Superman go?
Nuking a city is pretty extreme, but Wonder Woman was all for destroying multiple cities in the previous game to send a message to the civilians. Batman letting Superman out to fight Brainiac makes his previous visit pointless, since he claimed he would find a way to beat Brainiac without him. This game spends half its time contradicting itself and the other half contradicting the first game.
Give us some privacy.
Fire is soundproof. Who knew?
Make up for it by finishing another mission. Discreetly.
In other words, I need you and Blue Beetle to disappear from the game and come back at the very end, with no clues to what this mission was because it was just a lazy way of writing you out of the plot. Superman's super senses are so strong he can now break the fourth wall. Cyborg, Harley, and Catwoman head to Arkham so they can sneak into the Batcave and fix Brother Eye. And for no reason at all, Poison Ivy is here to stop them, even though there was no way for her to know that they would show up here. Poison Ivy's off-screen powers are fearsome. If I'm wrong about this, please feel free to crucify me in the comments. But isn't Harley supposed to be immune to most toxins, and especially Ivy's toxins since they had a relationship together?
You got a defibrillator in there?
Yeah.
You do?
Brainiac collects the best and discards the rest. Black Canary and Arrow, definitely not the best.
Cyborg would be great at game sense.
It's too quiet.
It's a cave. How could it be too quiet? So, Catwoman should lose this fight, right? Like less than a 1% chance of winning? See, this is why you don't buy Dell monitors. Jokes aside, how do you make an LED panel shoot a laser that creates a sentient evil cyborg to come out of Cyborg's body? They must have been hard up for villains in this game, because this is the second mirror match and later a good number of the fights are with mind-controlled heroes.
Bruce, the comms are yours.
Regaining control of Brother Eye does nothing but allow Batman to communicate with everyone over the comms. If they were all spread across the world, I could see why this would be useful. But the entire team is concentrated in Metropolis. You could do the same with a short-range radio.
We have 1 hour to evacuate civilians before we engage Brainiac and the fleet.
1 hour to evacuate a city of millions with just a small group of heroes?
Your heart's so cold, Wonder Woman. Let's put you on ice.
Come on. You already have Arnold's Mr. Freeze as an example on why ice villains shouldn't make ice puns. Seriously, that's Reverse Flash. I think he could dodge that if the real Flash can dodge bullets. This magic wound that Cheetah leaves on Supergirl is gone by the end of the scene. This is despite the fact that magic works against Kryptonians. Harley survives this. Cauterizing a wound will only stop external bleeding. It won't do anything about Harley's internal bleeding.
Diana said the Joker was executed. Were you the one who...
I took one life to save millions.
But it wasn't just one, Cal, was it? How many? How many?
These are all questions you should have asked before helping free Superman instead of taking the word of people you didn't even know.
Why won't you let me fight back? How can there be order if Brainiac wins? Humanity breeds chaos. Brainiac is order.
And blowing up planets and killing billions isn't chaos how? That seems a wee bit contrived. Batman has apparently been watching Independence Day. I think the devs watched it too, since finding a way through Brainiac's shields is half the problem. Brainiac should consider digitalizing cities before anything else. The cities are half destroyed by the time he gets started. No.
Decrease shield refresh interval to 10 picoseconds.
That's a bit overkill. Your shields work by routing power to the point of impact, and Superman is trying to race to another point after the initial attack. He's moving fast, but nowhere near the kind of speed that you would need to adjust to the picosecond range to compensate. Here's a game that tries to convince you that Superman is dead.
Stop it, Diana! Millions of people are trapped on that ship. We have to save them.
Not with him.
Such discord. No wonder humans have yet to expand their civilization beyond the confines of this tiny planet.
Technically, it was two non-humans doing the arguing.
My betas are taking position all across your planet. In 1 hour, they will explode in unison, burning the Earth's atmosphere, rendering this world a barren moon.
Those skull robot things? They pack that much of a punch? They've been getting destroyed left and right.
Burning the Earth's atmosphere, rendering this world a barren moon.
Even if you burn the Earth, it would not classify as a moon.
Unless you surrender Kara Zor-El. She is Krypton's sole survivor, and my last opportunity to study the effect of a yellow sun on Kryptonian cells.
You have an entire Kryptonian city along with its inhabitants digitally stored on your ship, and later we find out that they can be saved from digitalization. So what do you need Kara for?
Aquaman, Adam, get to Kahndaq.
Aquaman in the desert? I think you might want to send someone else.
Black Adam has revealed Kahndaq's power and its location. the Society will obtain a sample of the Rock of Eternity for me.
Brainiac just detected Black Adam opening the Ark of Eternity in Kahndaq. Brainiac is also currently in Metropolis and sends Grodd to retrieve the Ark for study. Before Adam and Aquaman even enter the Ark, Grodd is there with a mind-controlled Green Arrow and Canary. Grodd would have had to travel around the world with Arrow and Canary in a matter of seconds. Whatever will Black Adam and Aquaman do against the terrible power that is Black Canary and a guy with a bow? Somehow Grodd is already hiding inside the Ark even though Adam just opened it.
I've seen his mind, felt his power.
Then why was your plan to work with him until you could kill him and take his ship? Insert your Harambe memes here. You're saying I already used that sin? Well, that's just how meme humor works. Just copy paste that stuff. Did they really have to go to Kahndaq to create the magic bolt of lightning to bring down Brainiac's shields? Black Adam's whole thing is he can do that anytime he wants just by yelling Shazam. I can see why these betas are considered such a world-ending threat. Also, it's very hard to take their threat seriously when they're called betas. The Kryptonians of this game never seem to remember that they can rip apart steel. I learned this move from Scorpion. You could also say my skull face was inspired by him as well. Superman returns with no explanation about where or why he was missing.
Where's Kara? Captured. Somewhere on board.
You have X-ray vision. Finding her should not be an issue.
But we only have 20 minutes before Brainiac's betas scorch the Earth.
Actually, the time limit Brainiac gave you was for turning over Supergirl. She's now Brainiac's prisoner, so he should be leaving and burning the planet on his way out. Here's some more mind-controlled good guys for you to fight, since we're sure you haven't tired of that yet. Firestorm can make kryptonite at will. It doesn't do that against Superman like he did against Supergirl.
You have a plan? It's a work in progress.
Here's the plan. You're Superman. End of plan.
The ship's walls are lined with lead.
I have to remove that sin I gave the game earlier about finding Supergirl with X-ray vision, and now I'll give that sin back because there is no reason to line your ship's walls with lead. And yet another mind-controlled character.
I'll deal with him.
You hate magic.
Everyone is weak to magic. It's magic. Just because Superman can be injured by it doesn't make you any less susceptible.
Your environment is poisoned. Your civilization has exhausted its resources. The Earth's decline cannot be reversed.
Is this really the game to be delivering a climate change dialogue?
I match your strength. You cannot match my intellect.
Something about that statement seems off. Since when has Brainiac been known for his strength? Once cut off from Brainiac, his ships start tumbling like they're in freefall despite being in space. Even if you were in low Earth orbit, it wouldn't look like this.
You said yourself, the ship is controlled by pure thought.
Yeah, but you don't have any network ports built into your head. Instead of nearly killing yourself by controlling the ship with your mind, why don't you remember that you're Superman and go outside the ship and stop it from falling by lifting it? That's the kind of thing you are known for.
Create a bypass loop. Put the ship on autopilot.
Create an autopilot program for an alien ship with your mind in seconds. I don't think even Batman can pull that one off. I think Batman and Superman got so caught up fighting over whether to kill Brainiac or not, they forgot they left Brainiac unconscious on his ship. He's not gonna stay down forever, you know. Presumably, this suit lets Batman fight against Superman, but it doesn't give him any abilities or gadgets that would make me believe that.
Do you remember that night when you told me Lois was pregnant?
You knew, even before I said anything.
That was a good memory.
From another lifetime.
I miss the people we were then.
It only took 2 games before these two had an honest moment that put their fight against each other into perspective.
Even without my powers, the Phantom Zone can't hold me. I'll be back.
I tend to agree. The Phantom Zone sucks as a prison almost as much as Arkham does.
Why did you say that name?